Francois Payard's restaurant in Manhattan is one of the hottest tickets in town. He was born in Nice and is a third-generation pastry chef. He worked in Paris early on, then came to New York in 1990, working at Le Bernardin and Restaurant Daniel. His dessert is called chocolate pudding cake. Creme anglaise is started with milk and reduced vanilla extract.
A little bit of vanilla extract. Over here, you see on the right, I have my chocolate. The chocolate I use for the cake is semi-sweet chocolate. Semi-sweet is, I mean, like 60 to 62%. Now our milk is boiling. What we do, we may blanch the yolks and the sugar together. A little bit of the sugar goes with the yolks. And what we do, we blanch. I mean, we may bring the sugar and the yolks together to like a ribbon texture. Over here on the other side, I may add the leftover of the sugar into the milk recipe. You have to wait for the milk start to be warm before you add the sugar. I see a lot of people adding the sugar with the milk to the beginning, and what's happening, the sugar falls down the bottom of the pan and it starts to burn. What you do, just remove the milk from the stove, and what we do, we may temper the yolks mixture. Temper is, I mean, we may bring a little bit of the hot mixture into the yolks. If you dump your yolks into the milk right now, what's happening, you may have a lot of lumps. You don't want that. The milk on the stove, you may lower the flame, and what we may do our crème anglaise. The best way to cook a crème anglaise is to cook very slowly. Slowly you cook the crème anglaise, thicker comes the crème anglaise. Now what we do, just pour the crème anglaise over the chocolate. Normally, it's just enough liquid to melt the chocolate. What we do, we may allow a few minutes the chocolate to melt. We just stir the crème anglaise and the chocolate, and what we have a chocolate crème anglaise.
This mixture will be slightly cooled, then whipped butter beaten for 15 minutes with a paddle attachment is added.
You can see how fluffy is the butter. It's very, very fluffy. What we do now, I always add a little bit of the butter into the chocolate crème anglaise, and this will make easier for the mixture. Voila. You see, it's a great cake because it takes very little time. You don't have to bake, you just have to cook a crème anglaise. Voila. Stir everything together. You make sure you have no more lumps of butter. And that was the way in France, when we were kids, to make almost like a chocolate pudding cake for us. For us, the idea to call chocolate pudding cake. And if you have little lumps, just with a whisk. Now what we do, very simple. You take your cake mold and you pour all your batter in the cake mold.
The cake is frozen.
And that should serve 6 kids, maybe 6 to 8.
The finished product is unmolded.
See, now you remove from the pan. And what we want, just bang side of the ring. Voila. See, just place on your dish. With a spatula, you make some little wave. Voila. And after, you sprinkle some cocoa powder. And that's the cake it was present in the book.
A tempered chocolate decoration.
You see the chocolate set very quickly. Right away, you burn the chocolate. You shape the chocolate the way you like. Voila. Now, you already have something different.